I got a late one for you. I didn't think it was going to happen, but here we are. And this will be it for tonight. This will be it for today, but I will be back with you guys again tomorrow. Full steam ahead. And a huge fight breaks out. No Jumper says the Mexican Senate comes to blows after politicians disagree on using American military intervention to take out the drug cartels. And you know where that's coming from. Directly from the President of the United States, Donald Trump himself, for which...
I'm Christine Frizzell. President Trump is now getting the U.S. military involved to try to combat and dismantle drug cartels from around the world. He's already designated them terror organizations and this week took some major steps to fight back. The operations at sea often play out like this. The U.S. Coast Guard in March seizing this vessel and the drugs it was carrying. The Trump administration now expanding the operation in the Caribbean near Venezuela, sending 3 warships, including the USS Gravely, to address the threats from Latin American drug cartels.
Latin America's got a lot of cartels. They've got a lot of drugs flowing. So, we want to protect our country. We have to protect our country. We haven't been doing it for 4 years.
The mission, plus Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro threatening to activate more than 4 million militia members. Defensiva. Prompting this from the United Nations Secretary General.
He urges both governments to de-escalate tensions, exercise restraint, and solve their differences through peaceful means.
Now the Drug Enforcement Administration has announced another action, what it calls a bilateral initiative with Mexico. It's aimed at targeting the gatekeepers, those who control the smuggling of drugs, people, and weapons between the two countries, though the Mexican government has denied any agreement. There is no agreement with the DEA, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said Tuesday, but added a broader agreement between the two countries is in the works. Already, Mexico has reported drug operations are up and fentanyl seizures at the border are down. Former CBP Commissioner Mark Morgan says while cooperation with Mexico is ideal, it's not necessary.
The last time I checked, we don't need another country's permission to safeguard our own national security.
That fight to safeguard national security meeting pushback from other countries who warn U.S. military operations in sovereign countries will not be tolerated. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Let me know what you guys think about that. The U.S. and our involvement in taking out the Mexican drug cartels, but sorry, guys, I can't show you this fist fight, this brawl in the Senate because it's YouTube. And actually, thinking about it, I think we actually are now at a point where we can officially say Jasmine Crockett has been removed from Congress, but we'll save that for another video. Now, we've got this one. Holy shit, this is a real-life Nebraska senator.
Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. You matter. You matter. And I am fighting for you. And I will not stop. I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow. You are loved. You matter. You belong here.
Graham Banks Cole shares this gut-wrenching father of 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel speaks out after his son was slain by a radicalized lunatic yesterday.
Yesterday, a coward decided to take our 8-year-old son Fletcher away from us. Because of their actions, we will never be allowed to hold him, talk to him, play with him, and watch him grow into the wonderful young man he was on the path to becoming. Fletcher loved his family, friends, fishing, cooking, and any sport that he was allowed to play. While the hole in our hearts and lives will never be filled, I hope that in time our family can find healing. I pray that the other victim's family can find some semblance of the same. I'm hopeful that all the wounded are able to make a full recovery and return home to their families. And finally, all the people, and especially the children, impacted by this horrific event are able to recover mentally and find strength to live loving, happy, and full lives. Over the past day, I've heard many stories accounting the swift and heroic actions of children and adults alike from inside the church. Without these people and their selfless actions, this could have been a tragedy of many magnitudes more. For these people, I'm thankful. Moving forward, we ask not for your sympathy, but your empathy. As our family and the Annunciation community grieve and try to make sense of such a senseless act of violence. Please remember Fletcher for the person he was and not the act that ended his life. Give your kids an extra hug and kiss today. We love you, Fletcher. You'll always be with us.
Oh, and check this out. Breaking. Charlie Kirk posted this one saying how the Minneapolis school shooter, Robert Westman, confessed he was, quote, tired of being trans, and he wished he never brainwashed himself. Come on, guys, tell me if you disagree. But the evil perpetrated on young people by the trans medical industry is something future generations will look upon with horror.
And here we have Trump. Maverick Alexander says trans people don't exist. Unreal.
My fellow Americans, enough is enough. We need to call a spade a spade. Trans people don't exist. Let me say it again. Trans people do not exist. I can tape a stick on a horse's head, but that doesn't make it a unicorn. It's a horse, folks. Total horse. These are deeply disturbed individuals who have been manipulated by liars and psychopaths in positions of influence. They are on mind drugs, very powerful, and they're all addicted to porno, is what some people call it, I believe. Very destructive to the mind and spirit is pornography.
Yeah, and that was actually not really President Trump, according to this. This is a fake AI-generated video, which has not been disclosed, and President Trump has never said this. But what is all too real is the fact that so many folks are wasting money with their healthcare costs, throwing it down the drain, and our friends, our partners over at Chapter want to help put an end to that, put a stop to it. And if you are interested in saving money, specifically on your Medicare, then make sure you give our friends at Chapter a call. And I want you guys to really, really pay attention here, because it's come to my attention that most seniors are not on the best Medicare plan. They're either overpaying for the same coverage they could get elsewhere, or they don't have the coverage they need in an emergency. Chapter can review your options in under 20 minutes. It's fast, it's simple, it's easy, and it's free. If you're already on the best possible plan, they'll tell you they're unbiased and they're purely here to help folks, seniors, save money on healthcare, on average $1,100. And if you're not on the right plan, they'll help you switch, even if it's to a plan that pays them nothing. Again, unbiased, folks. This is unique and unlike any other Medicare provider out there. And this is exactly why we love Chapter so much, because they're literally just trying to help people. Chapter works for you, not big insurance or the government. And there's no pressure, just honest, free advice from professionals who know Medicare inside and out. Now, I have another shocking, breaking bombshell to drop on you, but this one comes from the left. And apparently Secular Talk says, where did it go? They post so many videos. I don't know how they have so much time to create so much BS, misinformation, and lies. And they might have actually had it taken down, because it was one of the most outrageous and erroneous videos that I had seen in quite a while. Maybe it was a live stream. Nope, they don't live stream. And yeah, it's this one here. Alex Jones thinks Trump is dying, and they just put on the thumbnail, Trump's dying, which I guess technically we are all dying if you think about it like that. I mean, even Joni Ernst says everybody dies, right? However, JD Vance is making headlines for the recent statements he made about being ready to take over as commander-in-chief if by chance some freak health scare were to come for our president. JD Vance, Vice President JD Vance, is adamant that President Donald Trump's health is not slipping, but if it does, he says he's ready to step in and admits to having the best on-the-job training possible. And I'm going to share this one with you as JD Vance gives update on Donald Trump's health from Newsweek. And Vice President JD Vance has assured the American public that President Donald Trump remains in good health as speculation continues to circulate about Trump's fitness. JD Vance told USA Today that the president has incredible energy and health and added that he is confident he could succeed Trump should a terrible tragedy befall the president, saying that his tenure as second to the commander-in-chief has provided him with incredible on-the-job training. Trump survived 2 assassination attempts within months of each other during the 2024 campaign, and last month photos of the president's bruised hand circulated on social media, and the White House revealed that Trump had been diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, CVI, which his physician described as benign and common. However, new photos that emerged on social media this week showed more bruising on Trump's right hand, once again spurring conversations about the president's health, as some have called for greater transparency about the issue. Trump, at 78 years and 222 days old, was the oldest man to assume the office of the president, followed by Joe Biden, who was 78 years and 61 days old during his inauguration, followed by Trump at the start of his first administration at 70 years and 220 days. Trump turned 79 on June 14th and this year, and his age continues to raise concerns about his long-term health and fitness, especially after that issue led to Biden's exit from the 2024 presidential election. But this is where it gets really good here, folks. JD Vance sat down for an interview with USA Today that was published on Thursday, so that was today, discussing various aspects of his job as the understudy to arguably the most powerful person on the planet. The interview touched on a range of subjects, focusing mainly on Vance's role as the man who has to go out and hit the streets to help sell the president's vision in the face of much public scrutiny and pushback on several policies. As USA Today described it, JD Vance relies on his middle-class bona fides to help turn public opinion and make sure that people are aware of what's actually in his legislation, referring to Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. Among policy pushback and high-profile incidents, such as arguing with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky in the Oval Office, JD Vance addresses Trump's health and, quote, "I feel very confident the President of the United States is in good shape, is going to serve out the remainder of his term and do great things for the American people," is what JD Vance said, stressing that the president is in incredibly good health and has incredible energy. He's the last person making phone calls at night, and he's the first person who wakes up and the first person making phone calls in the morning, is what he said. JD Vance also made clear that he is confident he can step in and take the reins as president should a terrible tragedy befall Trump, saying, quote, "I can't think of better on-the-job training than what I've gotten over the last 200 days. But I feel very confident the president of the United States is in good shape, is going to serve out the remainder of his term, and do great things for the American people." Again, Vance added. Now, what other people are saying, Sean Barbabella, the president's physician, in a July memo said the president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Fox Sports host Colin Cowherd on X says, "As America's honesty broker, I must say this Democrats pointing out Trump's swollen hand as a major health concern is pretty rich. Joe Biden was a walking bowl of oatmeal for 3 years, and the left's response was nothing to see here. Right. Meanwhile, social media personality Brian Krasenstein on X says something appears seriously wrong with Trump's health. Imagine if Biden had these large contusions on him. It's time for the man who will be the oldest president in history to be removed from office. 8647. Yeah. That's from the left, folks. And that's the last you're going to hear of it from me.